Are you stuck at home with nothing to do? I sure am. I can't sit around any longer. Time to improve our hunting and fishing. Let's go. So guys, I posted a poll on Instagram yesterday to see what you guys wanted to see more of, hunting or fishing videos. And the votes were pretty even. So I decided to make this video explaining both hunting and fishing. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining 3 ways that you can improve your hunting and 3 ways you can improve your fishing. So first guys, let's start off with hunting. So I mainly do deer hunting. That's what I'm going to be using in this example. I'm going to do deer hunting and big exotic animals. So a great way to get ahead this off season. All you guys have been using your rifles all season, been taking them through the weather, shooting them a ton. The rifles are going to be dirty, so they need to be clean. I got my rifle here. The best example guys, but this is just what I have on hand. This is what I got right here. This is my Heritage 22 long rifle. Bought a Magnum cylinder for this guy right here, so I'm gonna be able to shoot bigger bullets out of it. This is kind of like a varmint hunting gun, not really a deer hunting gun, but you really go for any gun, and I need to clean this gun. I'll show you guys how to clean it here. So we got our oil here. This is gun oil. This is what I recommend. Do some gun oil and paper towels. These are pretty soft paper towels, so I'm gonna be using these for this example in the video. Spraying your oil, don't spray it directly on the gun. Spray it on your paper towel before you start wiping it down on the gun. But take my paper towel here, spray your gun oil on there. Not too much, but not too little. Give it a good amount. Got it there. Now we're gonna take it. You're just gonna kind of take it and just rub it around the barrel, rub around the cylinders, do the whole 9 yards here. This is, I mean, if you guys really want your weapons to last, or really want your rifles to last, highly recommend you guys do this. So I'm actually gonna take the cylinder out because there's a lot of black powder in the cylinder. Push this guy and then pull this pin out and right there, push this guy out. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm actually just gonna clean inside the cylinder, clean our rounds there, and just kind of give it a nice, ooh, wow, look at all that goodness right there, all that black powder right there. That's why you clean it, guys. It gets freaking nasty. Perfect, we're cleaned on the cylinder. Run it in and around. Wow, look at all that. Holy cow, guys. This is why you do this, because it helps your gun last. I'm just gonna run that around in there. Too crazy. Bang. Look at that. Can't even see the oil anymore, hardly. Take my cylinder, put it back in. Works pretty good. That's clean. All of our gun is clean. It's nice and shiny, looking good. We're gonna go ahead and put that away. That's how you guys clean your rifles for the season, are ready for next season. Alright guys, another great way to make sure that you're updated for the next deer season and that you're ready for next deer season is to actually make sure that your bag is updated. I know a lot of you guys get new hunting bags for Christmas, new bags in general, and you need to fill them with stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys what I usually keep in my bag and what you guys should probably keep in your bag as well. I usually keep basically the absolute bare minimum that you need for deer hunting. I mean, especially if you're hunting here in Texas, you sit in a feeder, all you need is really just, I mean, you might not even need a hunting bag in general, but what I keep in my hunting bag is a pair of Nikon binoculars here. They're actually pretty old, but they do get the job done and they look really cool. I think they're about 150 bucks at Academy. My bag here, Game Winner, it's got a little spot right here to hold arrows and stuff, which is great for when I'm bow hunting. Let's see what's inside the bag right now. Not a whole lot in here, guys. I usually keep a flashlight, pretty simple, for when it does get dark in the mornings and stuff like that, when you show up there at like 5:30 a.m. and it's nice and dark and after the evening hunt. So flashlight is an absolute must to put in your bag. Easy access call. These are pretty cool, guys, and I'm actually going to do a video on this actual call. Buying these calls, I really like these calls for access deer. Grunt call here for the bigger bucks during the deer season. Gets the job done. It looks good. The one thing I'd recommend adding, guys, is scent killer to the call. I believe I have a knife in here. Here we go. I got some doe piss. This is good for during the rut. This will get those deer coming in closer to you, and you might even be able to get a bow shot on them. I usually keep a knife in the bag, but I don't have it in the bag right now. But that's something else I'd add in the bag, and that's really all you need for your hunting bag. Knife, binos, doe piss, easy access, light, deer calls, and then a light. That's going to top it off. Ready to roll for next deer season. I mean, nothing too crazy, nothing too special. And if you guys are balling on a budget, all you need is a pair of binoculars. This one is going to kind of pertain towards later in the year when like deer season's coming up again. If you have access to a shooting range, which a lot of you guys do nowadays, here in San Antonio you got Mission Ridge, Apache Fireworks. There's all sorts of shooting ranges you can go to in order to sight in your weapon. Say around October or November, right before deer season, I would take your firearm out to the range and just do a couple target practices to make sure that your rifle's sighted in, and that way you can make an ethical kill shot on the deer, especially after your rifle's been sitting for a while in the case in the safe. Definitely become unfocused and not shoot right, pull it out for next season. I've done it before, guys. I put my rifle away, pull it out for next season, and I shoot at the target, and it's completely off by a whole foot sometimes. Make sure that your gun is sighted in before you go and shoot an animal. Well, that's going to be it for deer hunting and hunting in general. Let's move on to fishing now. Kind of like hunting, I'm going to start this one off similar. Making sure that your reels are clean. I made this mistake with my Shimano SLX DC. Came back from a big saltwater fishing trip and just kind of threw my reel away. Or not threw it like away, but just kind kind of threw it in the corner, you know, let it sit. And then 3 days later, when I wanted to go freshwater fishing, I pulled it out, took it all the way to the river, set the hook on a fish, no drag. I had no drag at all on the reel. Drag was completely fried. The DC chip was fried. Everything was completely just toast. Probably shouldn't have took the SLX fishing anyways. So what I recommend with cleaning on the Curado 200XG, this is my Curado 200XG on this Shimano 6.6 medium heavy rod. I would recommend, actually guys, just recommended oil that Shimano gives you in the box. Curado 200XG, every single box should come with a little bitty oil thing. So this is what it comes in right here. This is what the oil looks like. So you take your oil here, take your reel, boom. Just like that, guys. The side compartment's off. Take your oil, dot it up in there. You don't want to do too much oil. That's what I made the mistake of the last time I did a video like this, was I put too much oil. If I were you guys, I'd take a Clorox wipe or something and just wipe down the reel every time you go fishing. I haven't fished with this yet. Haven't really been able to get out and go fishing. That's kind of why I'm making this video, is because I know a lot of you guys haven't actually been able to get out and fish, but you guys can prepare yourself for the next time. So we went over cleaning the reel. Now I want to do another one. It's actually going to be targeting your breeding patterns on your target species on your fish. For this example, I'm going to be using largemouth bass as the example here, because I know a lot of you guys that are watching this video are targeting bass in general, fishing lakes, rivers, ponds, all that kind of stuff. So let's dive into it here. So by studying these patterns of the bass breeding seasons, all spawn, pre-spawn, post-spawn, all that kind of stuff, this is going to teach you what kind of lures you want to throw during these times. So like spawn, you're going to throw this lure, pre-spawn this lure. So pre-spawn is typically between the months late February and early May here in Texas. It's different for every single state. The bass are usually the most active during this time, so they're actually going to be moving very aggressively, and they're going to be fattening up for that spawn. That being said, pretty much throw any lure that you want, get the fish to bite. My personal lure of choice though is a Texas Rig Senko. That's just kind of a classic weapon in any time of the year. That's like my go-to lure, but if I were to choose a lure for the spawn, if I'm looking to get like content for you guys, I would definitely throw some sort of topwater, a moving bait that'll actually get bites. Once pre-spawn's over, they're moving into spawn. They're going to be going up towards the bedding areas, somewhere to lay the eggs. During this time, it's very hard to catch fish. You got to find the fish on those bedding areas. You can definitely do it. It's definitely not impossible. You got to really put in the time if you're going to actually catch some fish. Target the fish on the bed, find the fish. You can see the fish. You guys get yourself a nice looking pair of either Oakley sunglasses, Costas. You can do whatever you want that are polarized, so that way you can see through the water. What I like to throw during this time, fish are going to be on the beds. They're going to be protecting their bed. Predators that are going to be on the beds are actually going to be crayfish. They're going to be looking for eggs to eat. Bluegill. I would throw maybe a slow moving swim bait. I'll show you guys what I would recommend throwing here. Some sort of bluegill imitation, that works as well. Make sure you guys are throwing a jig. Little black and blue green pumpkin jig. You can throw it however size you want. Throw it. Pumpkin jig with a bandito bug or a crack and crawl as a trailer. That usually gets them to bite. You just pop it on the bed. They'll grab it and spit it out because they're not really hungry. They're on the spawn. Jig would be good, or you could do a bluegill imitation swim bait. That works as well. Summertime in general, I fish it a lot because I'm off. Everything kind of slowed down as of work and everything like that. So usually I fish pretty heavy in the summertime. Spawn of the bass usually typically lasts between the months of late May or like early late May all the way to late September. It's kind of like the warmer months, especially here in Texas. Definitely late September is when it starts cooling down a little bit, maybe even late October. Once the spawn's over, it's time for post-spawn, and that's going to be in your fall time. That's going to last between late September all the way to maybe early to late November when it starts cooling down, kind of start getting into that slow winter season that everybody dreads. But I'm going to show you guys how to catch fish during both. Post-spawn is really good, guys, for fishing. The bass are coming out of that bedding areas. They're getting ready to eat some stuff. This is the time to throw some sort of quick moving topwater lure. Temperature's starting to cool down. The fish are going to be rising up towards the top. So are the bait fish. Those early morning hours of the day, go ahead and take that Whopper Plopper topwater Googan Squad lure or whatever lure you're throwing. Doesn't have to be Googan Squad, and just hit the topwater all day long. And that's where you're going to definitely be getting reaction stripes during the fall. Yeah, reaction stripes on the top are really, really good and really fun for content. Cast it out there and reeling it in hard and heavy, and those fish come up. I definitely recommend throwing a buzz bait as well. That's going to be really loud, going to get the fish's attention, especially in those fall months. Fish are going to be hungry. They're going to be ready to eat, and after that spawn, capitalizing in the fall and spring is absolutely a must. So transitioning from the fall, it's time to move on to the winter time. Winter time is usually typically very, very slow. You're going to want to make sure that you're finding areas in the winter because it's typically colder in the winter. Here in Texas, you never really know when the winter starts because it could be 80 degrees in December sometimes. So on a colder day, 30-degree day, 40-degree day, even sometimes even 50-degree day here in Texas, you're going to want to target the hotter areas in the lake, looking for those rock edges, those ledges, something that's going to reflect sunlight and keep the water temperature cooler. What I recommend throwing on those is a square bill crankbait, or a crankbait in general, shallow diving crankbait, where you can just run it right along those rocks, bump it along the rocks, and those fish are going to get that reaction strike. The fish are just going to be sitting there because it's going to be trying to get warm and stuff like that. It's going to be warmer, the fish are going to be more active, especially in the winter. Just take that crankbait, cast it out there, reel it in, and bump it along the bottom, and then you're going to be able to get a fish, no problem. So the winter months do last between late November and early February, or late February, just kind of like late November, early November to late early February. It's not like the fish are going away in the winter. You can still get on them. That's pretty much it for all the seasons. That'll kind of wrap up this video. The last thing I wanted to go over is actually after you're done with your fishing trip, everything's done, everything's fished, you want to make sure everything is clean. I like, especially if you're going saltwater fishing, guys, I like to clean all my lures as well, because your lures will rust out, and like I would take every lure out of your box, especially if you opened it up at the coast, because everything's salty there. Everything's nasty. Definitely don't want to leave your lures in your box wet. That'll wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching this content. Make sure to go watch the next B&B video. It'll be up there or down there. I'll probably leave the Shimano SLX one up there. That way you guys can see what happened. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button down below. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on another one.